Crank it up. Here we go. Another edition of the Lazy Gardeners with Bobby Jensen and Big T here on the Alive and Social Network. Good morning, Bobby.
Hey, buddy. Good morning.
We're missing our usual sound effect again this week because we're doing the podcast on a Friday morning, the 28th of August. Our usual pop top.
It's a little early. It's a little early.
And I said pop top. It's not pop that we're
right. It's
sound effecting with. Right. It's the click of the can. But all that being said, no, it's too early for that. We're getting our hydration going. We got our water. We got our coffee. Life is good here on the Alive and Social Network with the Lazy G Show. I've given it a shorthand
nickname. The Lazy
nickname.
G?
Now it's already.
Then it'll be LG and we'll get sued.
It's the Lazy G. the fridge manufacturer will say,
whoa.
We got electronics, we got fridges, we got this. We probably make jet engines.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, we'll get the C and D on the LG with BJ and BT.
Whoa. It's a little early for all of those
That
things.
deserves a WTF.
Cheers.
Whoa, cheers to you. Get that water going. I should really watch the water intake here, I think. Because
I heard.
I wet the bed on Wednesday. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm not going to be bashful about it.
I think it's good that you have well, I wouldn't say proud.
No,
but
I'm not proud.
You're not ashamed of it.
I should share this because there's other mid-50s guys and gals out there that are, it's not an issue with me. I'm not, and if you have a bladder control issue, I'm not throwing or casting aspersions at you because I know that's difficult.
Yes.
My mother-in-law, from the whole time I've known her. She has to be careful every time she laughs, and I love just making her crack up because
sure you do.
Oh, stop, because she'll away we go, and the floodgates are open. But no, I had one of those dreams, where
you were
life is carefree and la-di-da, and I may have been out in my dream watering the garden. That's happened before where there's a flow of water going, but no, this dream was more specific. And I don't remember the time and place in the dream, but I'm in the loo, and there's the urinal, and in my dream, I'm wide awake in my dream, and suddenly I got to go, and I'm going, and then you stop midstream.
You
as
realize,
hey,
what the heck?
This is not, no, and it was, I was sleeping on my stomach, so it would have been different, I think, had I been sleeping on my back or the side, but no, I'm sleeping on my stomach, and so in the instant that I wake up, I realize you have to get up right now because there's only a mattress cover there, and it's got some padding to it, but you have a very expensive mattress underneath there, so in all these things happen in my brain in a millisecond. It's like, I've wet the bed, I have to get up, the mattress is expensive, I gotta go, I get the thing, and the day go. And so, I got up and everything. I didn't ruin the mattress.
I speak for our audience. We appreciate you sharing.
Just, bringing it out there. Just,
There's no topic.
Yeah.
Untouched.
I did have a couple. I posted it on my Facebook page.
I know you did.
And I had a couple of people, certainly my friend Heather pinged in and said, "We'll just be glad it wasn't the other one."
I don't know if anybody's done that one yet.
That
I've never heard of.
A nighttime shart could have happened. That could have been out of control had there maybe been more olive oil in the meal the night before.
And how does all of this pertain to gardening?
It doesn't actually, Bob. We were just enjoying.
I thought we
water.
were talking about watering.
Watering.
That
nice segue.
Nitrogen.
Nice segue, Bob. Thanks
urea.
For pulling me out of that.
Urea is nitrogen.
I do. I'm going to admit to this. If there's nobody around and my neighbors aren't in their backyard or whatever, and I gotta go, I like peeing on the bushes. Gets the nitrogen in the soil. I pee on the bushes.
Urea.
I'm going to say I pee on the bushes quite often. I do.
There you go.
As often as let me just say, quite often.
This show is going where I never thought it was going to go.
Quite often would paint a picture that I'm just out there as often and with every opportunity that I can. I'm just saying that it happens frequently enough because, again, I'm just looking around. I got to go. I'm not going to go inside.
You're outside. I have no problem with that.
Right,
and
exactly.
You're fertilizing your plants at the same time.
We taught our young son, when we moved in, he was 2 years old when we moved into the house that we're in now. He's 22 now. And, we taught him as a young lad, out there in his tidy whities and his little diapers, son, if you need to go, just, there's a bush there. It's okay, son,
it's a family tradition.
Well, but the funny part would be just, watching him, not paying attention because he's a little kid. You know, suddenly there's a lot of people there. You're having a party or whatever.
Right,
and so
he just goes in.
and he's not, facing away from anybody. It's just, hey, I gotta go.
Right,
Boom, down
right.
come the pants, and I'm going. And say, hey, what's your son doing over there? Well, I'll
Didn't
talk
quite
to-
work out the way.
I'll
We're
talk to him
working
about
on that.
Yeah,
we're working
on the privacy part. I
There
gotta
you
get
go.
him to sneak behind the tree a little bit there.
That British Siri you got going. You said privacy and the loo.
Yeah, I know.
you
That's
got
what
you got that British thing going, pal.
my best friend Greg said. You gotta change your Siri on your iPhone from the American Siri voice to the English Siri voice.
I know, and it's
And
affecting
now it's
you.
affecting me.
It's
I know.
affecting you.
I'm going to have some crumpets.
The Lou?
I know. I'm going to
I'm
have
surprised
crumpets
we don't
before
have a
too
little
long.
tea this
But
morning. Breakfast tea.
She is delightful because if I Siri call Bobby Jensen, calling Bobby Jensen. She's just I like you. You're cool.
All right, I'll have to do that.
She's great. Calling Bobby. No, it's this too. Calling Bobby Jensen mobile.
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 Okay.
Calling the lazy gardeners mobile.
I have to go there.
Yeah, you got to get. We'll switch up your Siri.
Siri and I really don't connect.
Next week, you're going to be bringing a pint of, Harp or Guinness or something in here. Well, that'd be a little more Irish, I guess. But all that being said, you'll be bringing a pint of some English ale in here.
Something.
That's the way we'll
Something.
That's,
That's
the way
we'll start the show next week.
Day 2 of the Great Minnesota Get Together today.
Yeah.
Our dear friend Lee Valsvik, my longtime
partner
on the radio, and your longtime partner on the Saturday Morning Care broadcasts. Lee put out a social media ping the other day saying, "What is your favorite secret, so to speak, or sort of unknown state fair thing?" And like Diana Pierce chimed in from Care, and Di said the cleanest restrooms are in the horse barn. Because she's a horse person, she's an equestrian.
Right, she's equestrian.
But she was putting a nice nod out to the ladies, especially because finding a clean restroom when you're in one of these public deals.
Yep.
Again, the guys, we're just going to find a tree at the DNR exhibit and then just make sure that nobody's watching. And then
alleyway,
an alleyway, and we're going to go. But the ladies need a place to sit and such, and so she put that out there as a public service. There were quite a few other clean restroom nods.
Yeah, the one they redid the one over right by the Care 11 barn. They redid that one. That's one of the ones.
That is a decent one. Yeah,
they redid it recently.
Yeah, that was a completely redone one there.
Yeah.
My pings in response to her had nothing to do with urination or potties. Although, given the narrative that I brought to the front end of the show, you would assume that is what I responded with. My 2 secret things aren't really secret, but they're just special to me, and I don't think a lot of folks know as they're traveling around the Machinery Hill and the Midway. All of my 2 are centered in the agriculture and horticulture building in the southeast corner. The big white, beautiful white octagonal building.
Yep. Sure. No.
One of them is crop art. I love the crop art. And then the other is, because my favorite flower is the dahlia. My other is the dahlia exhibit, because you go in there and it's just the colors, the shapes, all the different forms that the dahlia plant and flower can take. They've always just warmed my heart in a huge way, and so I love the dahlia exhibit.
I didn't know that. We should go. You should go to the Arb and see the dahlia trials.
Oh, trust me. Yeah,
You've been there?
Yeah, I have been there.
And the next time we do, because we're always getting calls from like dahlia people at this one guy's got 300 different ones.
Oh man,
I'll call you.
Yeah, I would love to see
out.
that. Yeah,
come out, man.
Because that exhibit is just nutty and just so filled with just they're not super smelly. But they're just
they're gorgeous.
But they're absolutely
gorgeous. The
beautiful.
colors are just
vibrant.
outstanding.
I took some pictures last year, and I know I'll probably put a dozen pictures in my English Siri iPhone during the course of the Minnesota State Fair
you got it. You nailed
this
it.
year with the dahlias. But the crop art thing, I love the crop art. Last year there was a Mr. T. Last year there was a Nikola Tesla. Last year there was this huge one. The name of it I can't remember, but it was 2.5 feet wide by 3-4 feet tall. So it was an enormous, beautiful piece, and it was just sort of a surreal face that had, like a Carmen Miranda hat on.
Really?
And it was just lovely. And again, the name and the artist is escaping me, but it was one of the best crop art pieces I've ever seen. Day 1 yesterday of the Great Minnesota Get Together, a proposal happened at the crop art exhibit. So you got this guy, his name is Brian Kennedy. He's one of the dudes that sets up exhibits for the Science Museum of Minnesota. And he and his gal, Betsy Gilbertson, they've been dating for a while and all this stuff and get growing tighter in their relationship. And he wanted to propose. And so Brian's out with some friends of theirs. He's out with Mark and Laura, and he brings up this idea to them. And Brian and Betsy, very non-traditional. She didn't really, they've talked about of marriage and stuff. She didn't want to have like a big, gaudy or even any kind of big engagement ring, any of that. Very non-traditional folks. Cool. They look like really a cool couple. And this Mark and Laura seem like a cool couple as well because they're out having a cocktail. Brian brings it up to their friends who are both crop artists. Okay. So Mark and Laura both do crop art. They bring up the idea of create a crop art piece, have it, ask the state fair people if you can put it up there, and then bring Betsy through there on day one of the fair. And so, and Laura actually steps up because Brian, the groom to be, doesn't really know much in how to do crop art. Laura and her husband Mark do. Laura says, "I'll even help you put the thing together." So
he did it.
So Laura, his buddy,
his friend,
yep, the crop artist, she helped put the whole thing together. And it's Dear Betsy, and there's the proposal with a big crop art engagement ring on the piece. And so it's hanging there in the midst of the Mr. T's and whoever else is going on this year, whatever. I haven't seen the display yet. I'm going to see it today. I'll be out at the fair today. I was out there yesterday, but I couldn't see my favorite crop art yet. Too many people coming by the booth. You just get busy with all the friends you see. So I'm anxious to see it. But yes, day one, 9:15 in the morning.
Right away.
Let's just go. Hey, hon.
Show you what I did.
No. Oh, no.
No, not him, but them.
No, they're not. Nobody's saying anything. Let's just go visit the crop art.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, but they're not letting Betsy know. Mark and Laura aren't saying, we have an exhibit there, let's go see it. It's just completely... boom,
let's go walk around.
Go see the crop art. And so they do, and it's about halfway, I guess, in the exhibit, and then they're looking at this and that, and apparently Brian says he's trying to be cool about this whole thing, taking his baby through the crop art, and she's going to see this. But he admitted later, yeah, my legs were shaking, because this is sort of akin to, on a smaller scale, but akin to the big Jumbotron type proposal.
Yeah, right.
I think he was feeling pretty solid that she was going to give a nod to the affirmative. However, you're nervous and it's a proposal. You don't know how, and it's a public thing and you don't know what's going to happen. But she sees it and she's reading it and her eyes get really huge and she looks at him and it was a Big 10-4.
There you go.
Yeah, and then she starts crying and then you've got the crop art crowd gathered around and suddenly
they're cheering
and
they're
they're figuring it out then pretty quickly what's going on as they look at the crop art piece and there's Betsy and there's Brian.
And did they take it with them after
that? I hope it's still up. I think it's probably going to be up for people to take pictures.
Nice.
Eventually they'll take it home with them, sure, because that's going to be
and
her ring.
He did it.
No, again, his friend Laura
helped him.
The crop artist. I think she did the piece.
Oh,
they probably sketched it out and designed it together. But she I guess from what I understand is his pal executed the crop art piece, and I did see a picture in the St. Paul Pioneer Press. I'm going to get my own picture of it. Like I said, I got to get a picture of this because I love the crop art and I love this story. And anyhow, so yeah, that's a Big 10-4 for Betsy and for Brian, and life will be filled with lovely art, crop art in their world
future.
Henceforth. And I would imagine that'll hang somewhere in the house
I'm sure
for their entire
Forever.
lovely matrimonial life. Isn't that a good story?
That is a good story.
I know.
I don't know if I have a secret thing that I do at the fair. I'm an in and out guy at the fair.
Do you do like I do though, that horticulture agriculture building? Given we're the lazy gardeners, I always go. I like to see the apples. I like to see the corn. I like the bees. I like the dahlias, as I said.
That's about the only thing I don't. It's too crowded for me, man. Yeah. It's just crowded.
It does get packed in there. That's why I'm saying my thing isn't really a secret thing, but I think there's a lot of folks that like ag and gardening that go see it, but there's a lot of folks that might be listening to the show that, as we know, are sort of part-time gardeners, and they go the Midway and they do this, and I got to get my pork chop,
but there's a lot of beautiful gardens
all throughout
the fair. All throughout the fair. There's great gardens. There's great exhibits. It's just the MNLA puts up that whole section there. It's right outside of the. Well, actually, luckily now it's right below the beer garden.
Yeah, how fortuitous.
The Kraft beer garden.
Yeah,
not the other beer garden.
Yeah.
It's right there. But It's fair time, and fair time means cool time, and cool time might mean some frost out there.
How? What? Hey, you know what? I just wet myself again.
No, you did.
Yeah, right here, right now. I just wet myself. End of August, and well,
it's September.
Yeah, you know what,
It's
Bobby?
September.
It's time to start thinking about it. You're right.
Right.
We're not going to get a frost most likely.
No, we won't get a frost probably for 3 weeks.
Right. But look at there, 3 weeks.
It's not
the
that far away.
potential for one to happen is 3 weeks away.
So there's some things you need to know. One, you use organic material.
Yeah.
Cardboard, sheets, things like that. Plastic doesn't work.
Newspaper.
You could.
Okay.
Thick enough. Thick
okay,
enough if you
got
could
it.
keep it down.
All right.
But, if you got things you want to protect, it's probably a good time now to start
Kind of getting the stuff
boxes.
together.
Get a bunch of boxes. Don't throw them away. Keep them around so you can put them right over the plant. And the thing is, you want to do it early in the day. Because if you think or know a frost is coming, if they say
Frost warning as we get those
you do
warnings
it
on the
because
weather.
You want to keep the soils cold, the soils warm. It heats up during the day. You want to keep that. Not only do you want to keep the frost off, you want to keep that temperature in that little microclimate you made, those 3 or 4 or 5 degrees above the freezing mark.
Yeah, okay.
And you don't want to water late in the day.
So when you say early in the day, you want to get out there.
It's 3, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, depending on it.
Sure, that's what I'm going to do. Wake up in the middle of the night.
No, 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, got it.
Duh.
Got it. Well, you said early in the day. Okay, you know what?
Well, not like
I got you.
just before you go to bed.
Yeah, okay, I got you now. I got you.
there?
I had,
You
to
with me?
I had to clarify this
Because
in my own head.
you're out there today, pal. We're talking some stuff.
I'm off on a tangent.
Yeah,
you're saying?
what a shock.
It's Siri's fault, Bob.
What a shock.
It's
I know.
English
It's that
Siri's
English
fault.
doing to you.
Suddenly, I was at the loo and I was in, mobile and all of that.
So, I mean, plastic's out. Plastic suspended above is okay.
Okay.
But plastic on the plant, the frost will go right through.
We'll go right through it.
Right.
So suspended above, if you had some stakes like those bamboo
Yeah.
stakes or whatever, because it
Anything.
creates a
Wire,
little
coat hangers,
greenhouse sort
Coat
of effect.
hangers,
Yeah.
anything you can bend into shape, keep it over it, depending on the plant.
Yeah.
But if you got a big tomato plant, throw a sheet over it.
What about a quick burlap drop or anything like
Burlap's
that?
fine.
Okay.
Burlap's.
Okay.
It does have a little holes in
that's
it.
what I'm
Does have
getting
a little
at.
holes
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
I would probably suspend burlap over it.
Okay.
But I did throw burlap in the garden center over the plants.
Yeah.
Like just roll it out and lay it on top of the flats. I would do that back in the day. But think about it, because we get that snap, and then what do we get after that? You may get 3 weeks of beautiful weather.
Right. You just want to make them hold on for that one.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's going to be cold for 3 weeks, yeah, okay, but that's not coming yet.
I like the cardboard idea a lot.
Boxes are great.
Yeah.
But
because
you
can
get a
plop
box,
them
you
down,
just boom, throw a couple of rocks on the flaps that come out,
Yep.
and it stays there.
and then it's there. Any kind of wind is going to keep it in place with
Well,
the
if
rocks.
you got wind, you don't have frost.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. Just keep it in place with. Yeah, that's a good point. With the rocks there, and then of course you get your Stanley knife out, and that Indian summer happens, and you're not worried about frost. You got your plants protected for another couple, 3, 4 weeks or whatever
Yeah,
of
you
beauty
you
and
might
everything
get
going
about
on.
3 weeks out of
and
it.
you get your Stanley knife out, and you cut those up, and they go in the recycling bin.
There you go.
So then you're really not.
Or save them until the next one.
Well,
unless they get wet.
Yeah,
Unless they get
yeah,
super
exactly.
gooey.
Then it's nasty. But I don't have a lot of space in my garage because I got a lot of stuff in my garage. I don't know if you knew this, but garages are actually constructed for vehicles to stay in.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I wish I could live that reality, but no, I can't. So yeah, I'll use the cardboard boxes for a thing, and then I'm going to cut them up. And then if I need more,
or flatten them.
Then flatten them. But then if I need more, I'll go get some more and do that. But I like that it's recyclable. That's what I'm getting at.
And keep picking, keep harvesting. Don't stop. Just because you think it's over. Herbs. Get rid of the flowers, prune them, get them growing, get them leafing and breaking and stuff. And, tomatoes, right up until, when you think it's over, green tomatoes, put them in a bag and just leave them on your counter and they'll
ripen up there.
They'll ripen, yes. When you know a tomato is ripe, when it comes off the vine easy.
When just do the twist.
Right. If you got a yank on a tomato, leave it there, because they're actually sweeter and better the longer they stay and they ripen in the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's the time. I mean, you got to think about, carrots, peas, lettuce. Don't even worry about them. You don't even have to cover them. Kale, broccoli.
That's all going to be fine.
That'll take the frost. But the really tender things, your peppers, and a lot of people don't know this, but there is no red pepper. It just is a green pepper that matures. All peppers turn a color. And it's like, well, red ones. Well, I didn't plant. I know you didn't plant red ones. You planted the regular tomato. So the regular pepper. So if you want it, and actually, I think the green is crispier, and the later it gets in the season, it's tastier, but it's not as crispy.
Yeah.
So you got both sides of that.
And that's why a red pepper is a little softer.
It's a little softer, but more flavorful.
Yeah,
and you would know, you're a foodie. You know these things.
Now that you bring this up, though, how about yellow peppers?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Some turn yellow, some turn orange, some turn brown.
Okay.
And they'll advertise them as those, but it still starts out green and goes to those colors.
Yeah. Well, I love making the pepperonata. Get all the different peppers going with the onions in there. That's like one of the easiest things to make, and
fabulous.
And it's great. You serve it on some crusty bread. You can use it as a topping on meats, and it really is this easy. You slice up the peppers, all the different colored peppers. You do an onion, do the same sort of thing. Get some olive oil in the pan, put some spices in there, whatever you like. I just like using the Italian seasoning. It's got the oregano, the thyme, the parsley, the rosemary in there. Boom, boom, boom. Just put some of that on there, a little salt and pepper, and just saute it, let it reduce, saute it, toss a little bit of wine in there if you want to. I usually do. Hello. Keep sauteing. Some of that wine flavor comes out in there, and then it's limp. You want it. You don't want it.
You want it limp.
Yeah, you want it limp and
translucent.
Then you get the tongs out there and you spread it on the bread. Oh, it's just fantastic. And then you got that open bottle of wine that you got to do something with.
Exactly. But it's probably white. Would it be white, or could you use red?
You could use a red, but I tend to use a white wine. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the time where you can extend your gardening. You can keep your vegetables going by just thinking a little bit about, hey. They say there's going to be a frost. Let me throw some sheets over things. Let me cover the stuff I want to protect.
Yeah. And those old sheets, there's another great way of looking at it. They fold up. They don't take up much space in the garage or the garden shed or whatever you might have.
And if it's a couple-day thing, sometimes you even leave them on there. But if they get wet, you want to get them to dry out.
You know what?
You don't want them to be wet.
Exactly. Right. Instead of buying, and I still buy those long bamboo stakes because I like putting those next to the plants while they're growing, because then I use my green ties, and then it all blends in.
Right.
But for the frost stuff, I've tended to, and I've taken to, buying more of those thin, rigid poles that you set up in your driveway to protect you. So the edge of your driveway
is.
They're usually a blaze orange. They're usually a bright yellow. They got a rubber tip on top and then a sharpened, beveled edge on the bottom.
So they're going to ground easy.
And so I've got about 24 of those now. And what it does for me is then when I stake those up out there for frost protection and get them out there, and then I love the cardboard, but if you got some larger areas you got to spread sheets over, then those sheets lay down. What happened with trying to use the bamboo stakes is they tend to wear out, they snap. These suckers, they've lasted for years. And then when it comes time to pull the sheet off, and we're going to get 3-4 weeks of better weather now that we're past a night or two of frost potentially, then I can see them all. Then I can go collect them. I mean, it's really,
and you don't have to take them out right away either.
I can leave them in, but I tend to just pull them out because they're they're bright orange, they're yellow. I mean, I want to look at the garden again because they're so rigid. It's just that easy to just stick them in again too. I mean, it's with the bamboo ones, they're a little flexy, a little shaky. Yeah, exactly, and those work great. But this, boom, I just stick them in the ground. Boom, boom, boom. Put the sheet over. Boom, done.
There you go.
Time for a cocktail. Finish that bottle of wine. Again, lazy gardening. Go fast, go efficient, do it right. Be prudent about your time. Be smart about your time. Get them in, go.
Get them in. Protect your stuff. Because man, it's harvest time, babe. It's close.
Oh, it's here. It's
close.
By the way, that narrative of I own about 24 of those now probably points to the fact of why I can't fit cars in my garage.
Exactly.
Exactly. They take up such a little amount of space, but it's just a little amount of space.
But that's not just what's in there.
Well,
We know
yeah,
that.
there's
Stuff.
There's
stuff.
treasures, Bob.
There's stuff.
There's treasures.
That is.
That's all available for
That
sale on
someday-
Craigslist as of right now. Please call
that
me.
Someday it may be.
Please
used.
call me.
It might be.
I got stainless steel tables from the kitchen that we had going with our fine food gourmet business. There's a half a dozen stainless steel tables out there, all in great shape. By the way, deer hunting season's coming up. These are great for processing. Stainless steel tables are great for processing.
Do you rent them out?
No, I want to sell
Sell
them,
them.
Robert. I want them out of my garage. I'd like to put at least one vehicle in the garage. Okay, a lot of stainless steel tables. I got a 6-burner Imperial stove.
Ooh, do you really?
Nice range, nice commercial range out there. I got some shelving out there. Oh yeah. Let's move this stuff out of here.
Yeah, well,
Little
you hear,
cash
folks.
flow, little something, little cash flow. Let's get her out of there.
Let's move it.
I need space. Swapping out pots with fall colors. So what's our turning point? Just because I got flowers going. A lot of people have flowers.
Yeah,
but
that's
when are we
the
going to see the turning point? Or do you just sometimes go, I'm kind of done with this. I got 3 months of great color out of this. Now it's time to swap, get the mums in there or whatever.
It's the guessing game.
Yeah, okay.
Because, hot days, cool nights, this is when they look great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're fabulous. They've grown all year. Now they're at their peak.
Yeah.
Ripping them out at this time, it hurts.
It's kind of sad.
It hurts. So it's your call. It's exactly what you say. You can wait, let them nail a frost, or don't nail a frost, or say, okay, it's the 3 weeks into September. It's now fall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always struggled with the fact that they're at their peak.
They look great. Right.
They flower more. They're not stressed.
Johnny
it's cool.
jump ups, asters,
Everything.
still be all this
Everything.
stuff. Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. It's just so. When you do it,
Judgment call.
I don't know. It's a judgment. It's what you feel.
Okay, let me ask you this. So you yank that root, you yank that stem and the root ball out of there, shake up that soil, and then amend it a little bit before you get the mums in there or anything like that. Or get a little compost and manure in there. Yeah, get a little something in there, a little fresh
extra
soil.
in there,
Yeah, it's like
and I change my soil maybe every 3 years or so.
Okay, all right. I'll really fully swap it out.
Yeah, I'll amend it. I'll amend it. And I don't even know if I have to, but I guess
I think it makes sense.
After 3 years or so, I'll throw it out and I'll start all over again.
And just put it in a bucket and haul it off to the
take it to
compost
the
site.
or the woods.
Yeah, the
I
woods
put it
or
in the
whatever.
woods.
Sure,
I've got
yeah.
a area I'm filling in the back of my house. So.
All right.
But when you do it, how you do it, it's really it's so personal.
Yeah.
And I hate pulling them out when
they're
so
still
good.
looking good. Yeah.
It's but then there's fall, and you gotta go with it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I love the fall colors you get with some of the mums and the other stuff. I mean, you get
The
those
asters,
deep asters, those deep purples, and you get those nice burnt orange flowers, and just the way they balance out with a bit of a darker leaf on a lot of those plants. So you just get that whole musky, fall feel
kind of
to
look.
it. Yeah, it's just nice.
Fall's a great time.
Yeah.
It's a great season.
And buy some straw bales and get those set up a little bit here and there, and some
pumpkin
of those
for the
and,
mice
and some of those
and the
corn,
chipmunks.
some of those corn husks. How you just
them.
you lay them against the house, and they have that sort of autumn, harvest look to them. It's just and then store them in the garage and leave them there for 3 years. And wait, no,
corn,
what?
you can't leave
Oh.
corn husks in
Wait,
the garage.
no, stop that now. No, nothing
do
like
that.
that. Yeah, but putting some of the stuff out for the critters too and things like that. One last thing before we wrap up the show for today. And we began it with me wetting the bed. We're not going to end it the same way.
Thank God.
I just want to say tree trimming. Where are we at? The flowering trees and the bushes, so you got the lilacs. They're way past their point. Now's the time to shape those, get those into a place.
No, you really do lilacs right after they flower.
Okay, right. But what about what if I did it now? I got some lilacs that
Well,
could use a little trimming. I want to shape
The
it a
thing
little
is, they flower in 2-year-old woods, so you'll be cutting off your flowers. You're not going to do anything. You cut the flowers off for next year.
better. Okay.
But if you got a big old lilac, the thing to do is go in and cut out at the base the biggest, oldest, fattest canes.
Okay.
Because then 99% of them out there are old-fashioned lilacs. The sun gets in there, they start growing from the bottom again,
Okay.
and they fill them that way. In lieu of cutting them back and trying to make them smaller,
Shape
it's
them and
better.
stuff. Okay.
It's better to cut out the big stuff, shrinks your plant,
Yeah.
and it'll grow in and fill in.
And then you get those nice new fresh stems.
And they always flower better.
Okay.
They always flower better.
Well, sure,
but
yeah, cleaning up
trees
that
wise,
stuff.
I still wait until I'd rather see the structure of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So after leaf drop, prior to leaves coming out.
No, what about my Miss Kim? This Miss Kim I've got.
You can do anything. You whack it back.
Because it's the shape of the tree has gotten all gangly. I want to turn it back
It's
into
a whole
ball.
different. It's a whole different thing. You can prune Miss Kim anytime.
Just go, okay.
You want to cut it.
But wait till after the flower, but then do it then. Are you saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, but you can prune Miss Kim anytime.
Okay,
It's
good.
not. I mean, you wait till after the flower because you
Yeah,
want to see
you
the
wanna do
flower,
that.
but. It's not like the other lilacs, Miss Kim. You
Okay,
can
a little
prune
different there.
right now.
All right. So
anytime
tree
you want.
versus bush, different story there for sure. So I'm Miss Kim. Well,
Miss
in
Kim's
this
a bush,
case,
but
it's
it's
a
on a
tree-like
stick
thing.
now,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay. So Miss Kim, you're going to see the Felco shears sometime this weekend. I'm
There
just
you
letting
go.
you know, honey.
There you
I'm
go.
coming after you. In spite of the fact that you've received a lot of nitrogen fertilizer
There
courtesy
you
of
go.
me.
There you go.
See, you know what I said? I wasn't going to end the show with that note
I
again.
know, but now you did.
Yeah, I did. Spirea. What if you want to shape that spirea? What
Whack
do you do
it,
there?
baby.
Just whack it.
You could cut
So will
spirea back to the ground.
Will those buds will come
They'll
out again?
come-
No
yeah,
problem.
no problem.
Okay, because I love that. Those,
I've cut spirea. I think actually, after a few years, whacking back your spirea and let it regrow, which it will do in
Yeah.
1 year. Best thing you can do for the plant.
same sort of thing. Get in there too. You can whack it.
just whack it
Well, then
like-
let me ask you. You can whack it to shape it.
Yep.
But can you get inside and take some
No.
of the old canes out or
Not
their
worth
old
it.
stocks? Okay,
Not worth
no,
it.
just
Either
let it
go
happen.
in. If you want to do that, the best thing with a spirea is just cut it down to like 6 inches and regrow it.
Nice. Okay, because I got a couple there that I just want to start
Cut them
over.
down. You'll be
Yep.
amazed next year how beautiful they are.
Nice. Okay, and
Because-
fresh shoots will grow
Well,
up
think
high
about
again.
it.
Yeah.
You're cutting back a big old plant. You got a big old root system. So there,
gonna push out.
It's going to push.
Yeah, it's gonna
So you don't have any problems with that.
Got to wait until after the leaves fall to trim anything like the maples, the elms, any of that. Always wait until that point now, or
Well, you can do a maple at any time, but
Okay.
we're so late now. You might as well wait so you see the structure of the tree.
again see the structure.
You do
Yeah.
anything for safety. Anything for safety. But now you might as well wait 6 weeks until it falls off, and then either do it or do it late winter.
Yeah.
Before spring starts growing. And sap is sap. It's not. It's not leaking. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we've talked about this before too. If you're going to hire anybody for
An arborist.
anybody for tree removal, you're probably going to get a better rate and not do as much damage to your yard
winter.
by
In the
having
winter.
them come in after the frost sits on the ground and it's wintertime. Even if there's some
Dead of the winter.
even if there's some snow there, yeah, they'll come in
They'll
there.
come out dead in the winter and do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know?
And they can use the
They're
work
looking-
then,
they're
too.
looking for work. You
Sure.
might be able to work a deal.
A little bit better rate. Even if not, it's going to do less damage to the soil if they got to get some kind of skid steer
Well,
back
if they're
there
going to
or
drive
whatever.
across your lawn and it's
Yep.
frozen, yeah.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
there's a little snow on it.
Lastly, trimming and such arborvitae or any of the pine stuff.
Well, arborvitae, you can't prune more than halfway through the leaf,
Right.
Because otherwise you make a hole and it doesn't grow back. Pines and stuff, it's really, if you remove a limb, that's fine. But if the thing with pines is that candle that comes out,
yep.
if it's small enough, you can, like on a Mugo or something, pinch the candle,
Okay.
and then it breaks. But just to cut it back, nah, not really,
Yeah.
not really.
Just leave them alone.
Leave 'em alone.
Let them do what
Let
they
'em-
need to do.
If they're misshapen and whacked out, you may want to get rid of it and start over.
Yep. Thank you very much. Well, we've covered everything from
got it.
nitrogen sources, sometimes making their way into
a bed or a-
nighttime setting.
A bed, whether it's a flower bed or a bed.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
you go.
Beds either way. Crop art proposals, dahlias, swapping out for fall colors,
Frost protection.
keeping an eye on that frost protection, and a little bit of tree trimming on this edition of the Lazy Gardeners.
Get out and enjoy this time of year. This is flat out the best.
Here it is, baby. Here it is. I'm BT.
I'm Bobby J.
We'll see you next week.
There you go.